Hello, welcome to today's edition of Caddy's Corner. It is Wednesday. I am heading to meet Miss Stephanie Cox Conley for dinner before I go shift in at Montero's. I got tomorrow off with a lot to do because then there's Friday night karaoke shift, Saturday night karaoke shift. Immediately after that shift, though, I am taking a cab right to LaGuardia and flying off to Disney. God willing, with this virus. I'm very excited. I got a lot of packing to do. I did go by a little cheapo clothing store in the Slope yesterday and pick up a couple pairs of shorts since I didn't have any. Well, I did have one pair, but when I took them to St. Croix, I'm not quite as thin as I was in the summertime, so that was not comfortable. So I spent the big bucks, $7.99 for each pair of shorts, so $15, I guess, with tax. Anyway, I love a good cheap clothing store. I got a lot of balls in the air right now. A lot of personal work I'm doing. A lot of what's my next business work I'm doing. A lot of bartending hours logged behind that pine. Serving and chatting and ringing up things and counting numbers and making pours and restocking napkins, you know, all the important stuff. Keeps the world spinning. Had a very interesting chit chat with a customer, lives in the Slope, but I'd never met him before. His name's Patrick, and he was an EMT for a long time, but now he works specifically in transplants. So he's the one who cares for the brain dead donor and assists in setting it up for the surgery to occur so that the donation can be made to the receiver. So he was telling me some stories and we were chatting about life and things and all of this stuff, tapping in with it. It was a very intense conversation. I felt very honored that he shared very openly with me some of the stuff he's seen and been through. A lot of it very inspirational, because what was very interesting is we were talking, and we talked a little bit about spirituality too, and the principle of yin and yang, and how there if there is a place in life that is more the hugest weight of darkness to light, of sadness to joy, is that in the death of someone, which is sometimes a drowning victim. He told me the story of a child, someone who gets hit by a motorcycle or falls off a motorcycle accident, a lifelong condition of some sort or the other, like whatever. There's a family who's grieving the loss of that person before their time, who's going to miss them, who's going to be, devastated when they get the phone call that one's gone. What do you mean they're gone? That happened to me with my friend Kate. She was in a car accident in July of 2001, and we got the phone call, and Kate was gone. Like, I couldn't talk to her anymore. Like, what? But the flip side is, there was a kid he talked about who had been waiting for 9 years, I think. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He had been a lifelong sufferer. He was 9 years old, but he had been a lifelong sufferer of a heart condition, but it was apparent that he was going to die from it. And he was 9 months on the transplant list. And because his antigens in his blood, but from so many transfusions, it kind of tweaked out his, impossible to find a match. And it was actually the drowning victim, but they had done, honestly, mathematically, too many hours of cardiac arrest attempts on him for the heart to be a viable choice for a donor. But the surgeon with the kid who had been waiting for 9 months had sent it on. So that heart went from Texas to Seattle, and that's 6 hours. And that's pushing the limits of a donation organ of any kind to make it. And so they had it set up. There were cops on each end. There was security in the hospital that walked them out, so that they were the fastest out to the vehicle, fastest to the ambulance. They had cops ahead stopping and blocking every light. Sorry, that is a concrete truck right across the street. Hope it's not too bad. Anyway, the end of the story is that the kid lived because of that. And just the yin and yang of the good and bad of all of that. Thanks for joining me in Caddyland. Just remember, for every good there is a bad. That's all I'm saying. Bye.